Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be installing the JXR Performance F1 rear brake or rear fog light on my 2022 VB WRX. We're going to be doing this install in my driveway so you guys can see that it's possible without a lift, without even jacking your car up. We're going to do it just in my driveway. I'm not going to put the car up on jack stands or anything like that. This is a quick and easy and cheap mod that changes the car. It's a safety modification. We'll have a separate video if you haven't already watched the one on the VA WRX about why you should have this on your car. I've got the link to the product in the description below. I ran this same kit on my VA WRX for years, like quite literally years. It's the cheapest F1 light on the market. It works flawlessly and honestly just a great product. So let's get it installed on the VB WRX. We're gonna have this thing on for quite a while, so let's do a quick installation. I'd rate it probably a 2 out of 10. Again, link is in the description. There's a discount code in there for you guys from JXR Performance. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, but let's get straight into it because this is a quick and easy install. In today's video, I'm gonna be installing the smoked and matte black framed F1 light for this car. Comes with everything you need. It has the taps for the quick connect harness already installed. Here's the quick connect harness all prepped and ready. There is a new quick connect harness for the VA WRX now that has just been released. There will be a video on that shortly, but this is the quick connect harness. And this is the F1 light, so this is gonna have the F1 feature where it's gonna have a flashing function, but no reverse capability. And here is the equivalent 4-function smoked light. I decided just to get one so you guys could see it. This does not have the F1 capability. It does not flash, but it has a center reverse light and a braking outer ring, so it creates almost like a square pattern. This is a pretty cool look as well. Definitely a little bit more futuristic, a little less F1. But this is the other option, comes with everything you need. Like the other one, has a quick connect harness. Both are just as easy to install. There's a $10 difference between the two. I've run these before. I just prefer the solid brake color, but if you don't prefer that and you want the reverse light functionality, there's a lot of practicality in this too. Let's get into the install. All right, we're gonna start at the rear brake light on the passenger side. I apologize for the pollen, it is the spring. And we're gonna remove this plastic clip here, which is fairly easy to remove. Just a Phillips head, you remove that. And then this plastic piece, if you just apply some pressure up top, comes off like this. It's a little dirty under here, but then we have two 10mm bolts. We're gonna quickly remove our 10mm bolts here. We're gonna remove the two bolts. And then on this side of the window, there's gonna be a little push pin, and it's just pushed in. So when we remove this, we're just gonna apply outward pressure. And there we go. This is our push pin right here. And then all we're gonna do is unclip the tail light. We're gonna give it a little bit of a wiggle, and we're gonna put our tail light somewhere safe that it's not gonna get damaged. And now, before we even get our quick connect on that, we're gonna feed through the line up to the quick connect and get this thing installed. So the next step of the process is to remove this piece right there. And what that's gonna do is that's just a covering. So we just have to go from behind it, and we're gonna pop it out from underneath, and let me show you what that looks like. So looking underneath the car, we're looking underneath the car. There's a clip here, there's a clip here, there's a clip there, and there's a clip there. We're gonna unclip all those, and then that's gonna give us access to underneath the car, and we'll be able to just push this thing out of there. So let's do that. We're gonna use a pop clip tool, and we're gonna pop these out. Now that we have all the pop clips out from underneath, we're just gonna pull this down and pop out our little cap here. But because I'm showing you guys how to do this without even jacking your car up, as you can see, I'm gonna have to get underneath the car and push this thing out. And now that's out. Basically, all there is these two bottom clips. You push them up and in, and it pops this thing out. Super easy to take out. Okay, the next part is we're gonna take this provided installation bracket, and it's gonna go from behind and in with the brackets on the bottom, and then you're gonna have two pop clips on either end that holds it in, and two screws that screw the actual F1 light in. I'm gonna install this and then show it to you what it looks like installed. I think that's the easiest way to do it, because all you have to do is reach your hand up and under and in, and let me install it, and let's take a look at it. We're gonna keep our ISO super high here so you guys can see inside, but you just reach underneath, you put the clip up, one pop clip, and these two little clips rest basically side to side, and those two little holes are where the backing screws go when we install our F1 light. And you just want to use a little knob Phillips head screwdriver to install them, but what we're gonna do here is we're gonna first wrap our wires, and then we're gonna get this thing installed. So I'm a bit of a psycho when it comes to wires, and I want to make sure my wires are protected for a long period of time. Not that there are going to be any issues with the wires, but more so that I'm going to run this kit for many, many, many years for my entire ownership of the car. So I'm just going to wrap all the wires just so that they can't get hooked, or anything negative can happen if there are any accidents, or any hiccups in ownership. So, and you by no means have to do this. This is a personal choice of mine, so do not feel like you need to do this, and if you do, it doesn't need to be perfect. And there we go, wires wrapped, not pretty, doesn't need to be. Now here comes the part that the one tricky part of this installation is we need to feed these wires up to our taillight. Now you can do this by hand. It's easier if you put the car in jack stands. It is possible to do it without any jack stands, without lifting the corner of the car, because you could jack up the corner of the car and then it's super easy. You can just reach your hand up. What we're going to do, just so I can show it in case you don't even have a jack, which is provided with the car, is we're just going to use a zip tie. You could use your hands. We're going to tape a zip tie to the end of this. We're going to use the zip tie, feed it and hook it, and we'll be good to go. Let me show you. So we're just going to feed our wires in first, just to get them in there. And just like that, we have our wires up and through. You can literally do it without the zip tie. It's easy just to pull it by hand. The zip tie just makes it a little bit easier because then you can like guide something that's straight. The other option is you could drop some tape down or drop the zip tie the opposite direction and pull them through and snake it through. And on the back of this guy who's just loose in there, we're going to take the 2 provided bolts, screw this guy in so he's flush, and then we'll install the rest of it. And there we go. Just took a little stubby little screwdriver. You really need to pull down the underside like this. You really need to pull it down, expose those screws, hand tight, nothing over hand tight. And look, we're installed. We're flush, it's not moving. Let's take our pop clips, get them installed again, close this up, and then wire this thing in. Quick connect harness in. Then we're gonna install our clips. So black to black, red to red, and then we're gonna go white to green. And then this leftover blue is gonna be for our 4-function brake light. If you were to install that, you just use that to the extra wire provided in the kit. That installs and that controls your reverse functionality. But right now, we can just leave that. And then all I've done here is I've just applied some 3M electrical tape on all the connections because I don't want to get them damaged. Just be very careful when actually connecting these so that you don't damage the taps. You know, they are just tapped on, so just be very careful. And then we're going to reinstall our taillight. We're going to go ahead and reconnect our connector here. Just make sure our wires are tucked. We're going to start by getting our little clip on the edge in. Clip that in. All we have to do is reinstall our 10mm bolts. These are just going on hand tight, nothing more than hand tight. Then finally our little plate piece goes on, clips go in, pop clip goes in, popped. I think this thing looks absolutely divine installed, even just when it's not even on. Just the look, I hate the way that the cutout looks, and I really like the way this looks. Just installed, I think it adds a nice little feature. It adds kind of like a focal point to the lower part of the bumper. Looks, I mean, it really does look great. There's a bunch of different options or colors. I prefer the gloss black look because that's just what I'm going with the car, but there's plenty of other options. You can go chrome, red, smoked red. You can go clear black, so this becomes lighter, it's not as smoked. That's what it looks like when it's just on the car and not lit up. And there we have it, guys. That was the installation. We're not done with the video yet because I know you guys want to see what it looks like in action. So I'm going to wait a couple hours until it gets dark, and then we'll go out and I will film some shots so you guys can actually see this thing in function and you can see what it actually does to provide a very, very functional reason of owning it. And it's not just for looks. It has a lot of function. It will keep you safe on the road. Obviously, that's not a guarantee. Be careful driving, but it will help illuminate and alert drivers behind you that might not be paying attention if you are braking. And it just adds some flair on the back of the car. It makes these things look way more aggressive, but don't take my word. We'll look for it. I'm gonna go cool off. Otherwise, link is in the description. Discount for you guys. And I think that probably took me, I don't know, 20 minutes, but I will see you guys in a couple hours when we check it out in the nighttime.